Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa salatu wa salamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم. Last time we were here, I spoke about the Khatm Nabuwwah. I spoke about the finality of prophethood and how Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the final prophet and there can come no other prophet after him. Inshallah, today I will go through the superiority and the authority of the Prophet ﷺ, and how he is the greatest of all creation and there is none above him. In one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ mentions that once he was asleep and he saw that the keys of the treasures of the earth were brought to him and were placed in his hands. That the keys of the earth were placed in his hands whilst he was asleep. And this is a narration mentioned in Bukhari Sharif and Muslim Sharif as well. In both of the most authentic books of hadith, this hadith has been mentioned. So this hadith means that the Prophet ﷺ, he was given the keys to all the treasures that are in the earth. So even though he lived in, we know through the seerah what kind of life he lived. He lived a life in poverty. He lived in small houses. He didn't have much money apparently. But we have seen through this hadith that the Prophet ﷺ has been given the keys to all of the treasures that the earth have. So all the gold, money, everything belongs to him. And this is through who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him all this. He has given him all the money, all the wealth, everything that he needs is given to him. This means that the Prophet ﷺ, if we want to achieve anything, we need to ask the owner of the stuff. It's the person who's got the keys. If you've got a door and there's a lock on this door, you can't unlock this door without the key. If you want the key to the treasures of this earth, you have to go through the Prophet ﷺ. Subhanallah. And why is this an example of? This is an example of intercession, wasila. We have to go through somebody to get to something. So through the Prophet ﷺ, we must ask him, we must go through him to be able to reach the keys, to be able to reach the treasures of this earth. Without him, we cannot reach the treasures. Also in Dalail al-Khairat Sharif, it's mentioned one of the names of the Prophet ﷺ is Miftahul Jannah and also Miftahul Rahmah as well. So he's both the keys to mercy and the keys of Jannah as well. So if we want to reach Jannah, we have to get the keys first. And the keys are through the Prophet ﷺ. He is the key of Jannah. We cannot get to Jannah without having firm faith in him and without believing in his superiority, without believing in his greatness. He is the final Prophet ﷺ and he is also the greatest Prophet. No prophet could come after him and no one is greater than him. Also in Bukhari Sharif is also mentioned that the rank of a Nabi is such that no person could come higher than him. No non-Nabi, no non-Prophet can come higher than the rank of a Prophet. So we cannot say a Wali can come higher than a Prophet, because a Wali's rank is nothing compared to the rank of a Nabi. So when you have the greatest of all creation as well, the Prophet ﷺ, who is the greatest of all creation, that means he's also the greatest of all prophets as well. He is the Imam al-Anbiya. On the night of Mi'raj, we have learned from the stories that in Masjid al-Aqsa, who was the Imam? Masjid al-Aqsa, the Prophet ﷺ was the Imam of who? Who all the Muqtadis? The Muqtadis were the prophets. All the other prophets that came to all the nations, the Prophet ﷺ was the Imam. So this shows that he is not only just a prophet, but he's also the Prophet of all the prophets. He's the Imam of the prophets. He's the leader of the prophets. The Prophet ﷺ, without him, nothing would have happened. If all the prophets followed him, then who are we to say that we can't follow him? Who are we to say that he is not a prophet or he is this or he is that? And we make all these sort of excuses. So we must know that the Prophet ﷺ is the greatest of all prophets. And a prophet's rank, I've said before, in Bukhari Sharif mentioned, the prophet's rank is higher than anything else. There is nothing higher than the rank of a prophet. And it also mentions that one who denies this, one who says that someone could come higher than the rank of a prophet, then this person is a kafir. This is mentioned in Bukhari Sharif, written by Sadr al-Sharia. So we come to know that the Prophet ﷺ is of the highest rank, and he is higher than all the prophets as well. How lucky are we to be from his ummah? How lucky are we to be from his nation? When Hazrat Musa alayhi salam would also ask, he would make dua. And Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was one of the greatest prophets as well. From the 5 main prophets, he is one of the great prophets. And Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, he would make the dua. And he would say, make me from the ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A prophet will make dua to become from the nation of another prophet. This is, we've said the rank of a prophet is very high. Yet Hazrat Musa alayhi salam would give up his nabuwa to become an ummati, to become from the nation of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ mentions that he was given which no other Prophet was given before him. He said that he has been helped and he has been given the keys of all the treasures of the earth. Once again, it's been mentioned, he's been given the keys of all the treasures of the earth. And he also mentions before this that he says that he has been given which no other Prophet has been given before. This clarifies that he is the only Prophet who has been given this. No other Prophet was given the keys to the entire earth. Every Prophet may have been given small portions. But the Prophet ﷺ, he has been given authority over the entire kingdom, over all the earth. And the Prophet ﷺ, as Allah mentions in the Quran, he is Rahmatul lil Alameen. And he is the mercy to all the worlds. Alameen is a plural word. So he's given mercy to all of the worlds. And scientists today also mention, and Imam Suyuti, alayhi rahmatullah, he mentions as well, that there are more than 70,000 different worlds. 70,000, that's 70,000 different worlds that the Prophet ﷺ has been given as a mercy to. His rank is so high in this world that we cannot even begin to think about how high it is. His rank we've only been given, we only know through these ahadith and through the Quran. Otherwise, his rank is unlimited. His rank is very high. And the Prophet ﷺ, as if we want to get if we want any help in this world, if we want any sort of money, wealth, anything that we can think of, we must go through the Prophet ﷺ. We must ask him we must ask him, and then we must ask that we want so and so. And because he is the key of all the treasures of this earth, and that means he has the power to give you whatever he wants. If you've got the key to something, you have the power to unlock the door. And if he's got the power to unlock the door, then what's stopping him from distributing all that he's got? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to act upon what we said today, and allow us to see and also understand the true authority of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ.
Nare Takbir, Allahu Akbar. Nare Takbir, Allahu Akbar. Nare Takbir, Allahu Akbar. Nare Risala, Nare Risala, Nare Risala, Nare Halal, Nare Halal, Nare Halal.